become this completely dominant force that supposedly is supposed to beat vampires. We're seeing him playing the same deck.
Yep, and
he's
the only person not playing Cablade in this top 8. So here we are, semifinals. On your right, Matt Landstrom, obviously playing vampires. On your left, Alex Gonzalez. Alex is playing straight blue-white, no dark blade. Yeah, he did not opt for the black splash as so many players chose to take. And it looks like Matt got off to the races with a turn 1 Vampire Lacerator.
That's pretty good. Just having a 2-power creature on turn 1 lets you apply the pressure you need to just play removal spells and clear the way, so you can deal a lot of damage to your opponent very quickly.
And there's a Squadron Hawk. Alex is going to go find a couple more of those. And do Ubiquitous 2-drop. We'll create a stream of blockers. Now we'll see what Matt Landstrom has on his next turn. He can serve that Lacerator in no problem, but Bloodghast is okay against Hawk. It's, you know, they obviously bring it back with a land.
18 and 19
Yep.
now, or 18-18. I believe Matt may have used a fetch land.
Yeah, it looks like Marsh Flat sitting up there right above his name. There are the 2 players for you. Down comes Bloodghast. Now we have turn 3 for Alex, and what do you think Alex wants to see on his turn 3 here?
Probably Stoneforge Mystic would be. Yeah, that would be the best card he could play.
There you go. So Stoneforge Mystic gets to Batter Skull,
and this is the card that really has baffled a lot of people from the new set. The new set, which was supposed to dethrone Cawblade, gave it its best card.
Yeah, it's Tutor Baneslayer Angel, pretty good stuff.
That you actually can't kill, because once you kill it, they can just return the equipment back to their hand and replay it. So.
It's really changed the dynamic of the Cawblade mirror entirely. We were talking to AJ Soccer yesterday, who was like, it's the Cawblade mirror is just so much different now because of Batter Skull. So Matt serves in with Bloodghast and Vampire Lacerator. Alex opts to not block the Bloodghast wisely.
So he'll be dropping down 13 there. Matt's going to go ahead and put a Lava Claw reach.
Seems likely, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And just go for the throats. That's Stoneforge Mystic. Spell Pierce from Alex. He has just the card he was looking for there. And
right, so
then the Spell Pierce is something you don't see out of the black versions, but normally they opt for the Hand Disruption, the Inquisition of Kozilek, and so forth. But in the straight blue-white version, they still have it, and that Spell Pierce on Go for the Throat, pretty reasonable. Now Batterskull gets to come down this turn, and it's rough for Matt Landstrom.
It's really rough for Matt Landstrom.
Matt has to have another Go for the Throat, pretty much.
Well, that's what I expected you to look like.
He was hoping to put Alex off by getting to delay that Batterskull coming down.
Yeah, definitely.
But it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, like you kill the Stoneforge Mystic there, and then Alex potentially can't play it until the next turn, and then then you maybe have another turn, another draw step to find what you need. But now he can block right now this turn. And unless he's got a way to kill a Batterskull, attacking is not a very good idea. The lifelink on that card is so brutal. Really makes the card phenomenal for racing. Vigilance plus lifelink.
The issue here, too, is that Matt actually needs instant speed removal if he doesn't want Alex to get the 4-point life swing. So
right. And it has to, his removal we saw yesterday in his deck list is 4 Go for the Throat for Lightning Bolts. And the bolts can't kill the Batterskull, and the Go for the Throats are other weapons. And he just already used one of them 2 turns ago on that Stoneforge Mystic. So, and then it obviously got countered. So here it comes. So he swings in. Alex is like, well, does he have it? Does he not have it? What are we going to do here?
So I believe Alex is at 13 right now, if I'm correct, right?
I also thought Alex was at
And before the attack, he was at 13.
13.
Rashad?
But
the light titles, because I'm pretty sure they're like
and let's see.
horribly wrong. That's maybe the other way.
And let's see. So Alex just takes it.
There we go. We got this life title switch for you guys.
Down comes Pulse Tracker. And so Alex opts, well, I don't want to get in the middle of blocking. We'll just put the Batterskull in end step. There's the go for the throat. Now, why wouldn't you put the Batterskull into block, Jacob?
Well, he knows that Matt Landstrom has a main deck Manic Vandal, and he probably thinks that, well, if this Batterskull ends up resolving, there's very little chance I lose this game. So there are a lot of things that, like, he gained as an advantage. Like, here he's going to get to play his 5th land, and now he basically has the Stoneforge Batterskull, like, super combo. And, if he had played that Manic Vandal, he could have opened himself up to being,
No.
you know.
Right, now Matt only has the 1 Manic Vandal in his main deck.
It's true.
But, I mean, maybe you have to risk you're fine with if you're like, well, if I just attack once with this Batterskull, I'm going to be in really good shape anyway. But I think you're still playing around go for the throat there because the 4 life you gain from blocking is pretty significant, and you get to kill one of his creatures.
Yeah.
So even if he has Manic Vandal, I think you still... I think I would have put it down, but he chooses not to, and gets in there for 5 in the air with that Squadron Hawk. And now Matt has to have a way to deal with it. Otherwise...
Yeah, otherwise it's just lights.
Yeah, I mean, he's used 2 go for the throats already, and Manic Vandal would be the best card to have right now. Is one of them Manic Vandal. But I imagine that Manic Vandal would have gotten slapped down already if he had it. Let's see. No, that's right, I'm pretty sure.
No. They keep switching because the life like.
Oh, yeah.
It's confusing.
You're
Like, it goes from like the one guy's at 15 and the other guy goes to 15. So when they tell the life totals to put in, they say 15 to 8, and they assume the guy who was at 15 was still at 15. But
nope, not the case. Let's see. So Matt serves in right into that Batterskull. And is Alex not blocking? Okay, there we go. I was going to say, take down that pulse tracker, negate the other 4 points. He doesn't want to block any of the 2/2s because a lightning bolt from Matt Landstrom would kill the Squadron Hawk, but at only a 1/1, that's not a possibility.
no.
And Viserys here allows Matt to scry 1. He puts the card on the bottom, no doubt digging for an answer to that Batterskull.
It is not looking good right now for Matt.
No, not good at all. And once again, just the Batterskulls. If that was a sort of feast and famine, like Matt could perfectly be in this game. But the life swing plus, you got the extra creature, just absolutely brutal. So looks like a discard spell here. Alex sees a bunch of Squadron Hawks, a Jace,
and an Into the Roil.
and that's a small Jace, a JCB. And what do you think you take here?
It's just Hawks and okay, you take the Into the
Hawks,
Roil.
Jace, and Into the Roil. I was thinking about taking that Jace, but I think Into the Roil also probably an okay choice. You definitely don't take a Hawk. Down comes Lacerator, so Matt continues to further his army, but his army is no match for the mythic equipment from New Phyrexia.
Yeah, here Matt's going to drop down to 2, and Alex is going to pop back up to 15.
What a brutal card.
Yeah, it's just backbreaking.
He just put it into play, and I mean, Baneslayer Angel was every bit good, and Matt realizes the only way he can win is if he finds that Manic Vandal, so he's got to just scry. But even then, his opponent has 2 Squadron Hawks in play, right? So even if he finds the Manic Vandal, I think he's still dead next turn. Yeah, Matt just packs it in.
Yep. Now it's pretty bad for Matt to lose the die roll, especially against the blue white version.
Right. And I mean, and he definitely wants to win game 1, so that in game 3 if it goes to game 3, he'll be on the play.
Yeah.
Now, if he wins this one, he'll be on the draw for the 3rd game, which makes matters even more difficult.
Yeah, but I definitely think Matt has a better chance post-board than pre-board. I think Crush is probably...
Crush gives him a nice Adios skill, plus 2 more Manic Vandals.
Those are his best tools here.
In the meantime, we've got 6 months of premium to give away. For those who aren't familiar with the premium giving away ritual, we give away 3 months, 6 months, and then a whole year in the finals during the top 8 of both events. You can come back in Legacy if you don't win here, or in the finals and win premium potentially again. The way this works, we ask you a question, And then you, on Twitter, you respond with the hashtag SCG Premium. You can respond to @SCGLive if you want to, but the important part is that @SCG Premium is there. And so we're going to ask a trivia question, you tell us the answer, and if you get it correct, you'll be entered into a draw to win 6 months of premium. The question for this round is this. Matt Landstrom won another Open Series with Black Red Vampires. Which Open Series was it? Happened earlier this season. Let us know which one it is, and you could win 6 months of free premium right now. All kinds of information from Brian Kibler, Mike Flores, Brad Nelson, just Patrick Chapin, some of the best writers in all of Magic. There's some great constructed videos out there now you can watch. So.
I mean, you have articles from Jerry Thompson.
Yep. AJ Soccer now on the premium side. I think Drew Levin is also on the premium side now. He might be. AJ definitely is. And so it should be good times. You want to read that information if you want to stay up to date on what's going on. You can read all the tournament reports from this event. You can get all kinds of great information. So 6 months of free premium right here. This is your opportunity. Tweet at us now.
Now, in Matt's sideboard, he has access to Crush and Manic Vandal. Those are going to be his best tools in this matchup. Alex, on the other hand, do we know what he has on his board? Can
yeah, here,
that right now?
Pulling up the deck list right now. So Alex Gonzalez's Cobblade list. If he has, okay, so he doesn't have Celestial Purge, which is good for Matt Landstrom. Looks like he gets access to Batterskull, Mortar Pod, a Myria Angel, Sun Titan, Condemn, Divine Offering, Flash Freeze, Linvala, and Day of Judgment. Now, Flash Freeze obviously not coming in, Divine Offering not coming in, but Condemn, Day of Judgment, Batterskull, all certainly coming in.
All of those are definitely
probably,
coming in.
Maybe Mortar Pod, maybe not. Do you bring it in? Do you not bring it in?
I don't think you do.
I don't think you do either.
You're always going to be looking for a Batterskull here, right?
Yeah, I think you always want to get Batterskull, and killing like a Pulse Tracker or Blood Gas is just really unexciting.
Yeah, for 2 mana.
How about a Myria Angel in this
I'd
matchup?
definitely bring that in.
Yeah.
It's just like it provides like enough like a board glut to like give you an opportunity to resolve a card.
I mean,
like Gideon. Does he have Gideon in the 75 or no?
Let's see. He does not have any Gideons.
Okay.
Wow, he goes up to 4 Myria Angels after sideboarding. He's not fooling around.
I like that.
But yeah, it's a big
The
issue.
card is really
like,
powerful.
You lay
it's
that
really strong in the mirror too.
You lay a Myria Angel and like you just play like a fetch land or something like that, and it gets out of control for a beatdown deck to deal with. It's funny. I'm glad that card finally got some play because it was a pretty like big card just in discussion wise when Zendikar first came out, and then it never really saw a ton of play. It was seen a little bit here and there. There was a green-white tokens deck for a little while that had a Myria Angel, and I'm glad that we finally got to see it in action in Cobblade. Even if it did end up being the most frustrating deck for a lot of people in the format.
Yeah.
How about the one Sun Titan? You think you bring that in here?
Probably. I mean, it's very clear that Matt's going to be siding in artifact removal for your Batterskulls and whatnot, or your swords, and it's very possible that you just run out of swords in a matchup like this. So having a Sun Titan's a nice like closer. They can return the swords back to play. It's also just a massive body that blocks the return and attacks the return because of his vigilance.
Yeah, I think Sun Titan's pretty good to bring in. Like the games are going to go a little long because she's going to have some discard and like crushes or whatever. He gets more reactive cards after sideboarding, and Sun Titan goes over the top. If they don't have Go for the Throat, it's rough. And even if you do, you get something back immediately. So it'll be interesting to see how Alex shows the sideboard. And there's the Condemn peeking out from.
It looks like Alex has a very land-light hand there.
Yep, but he ships it back.
Wisely so. We've seen a lot of blue-white Cowboy players lose this weekend when they kept 1 or 2 landers with a preordain, expecting to get there. And one of the major strengths of that deck is its ability to mulligan well.
Yeah, I mean, it mulligans really well. It's also just like looking for specific cards and specific draws. You want to play lands for the first several turns, and if you like, can't, then you're really hindering your opportunity to win. Like a lot of players, it's the same trap you saw all the time back with like Sensei's Divining Top. People would look at their hand and be like, well, one land top, like I'll find more lands, but that's not always how this works. And top even give you a much better chance of finding lands consistently than Preordain does. Even if Preordain finds you 1 land, is 2 lands going to be enough for you to win the game? Like probably not.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scary proposition, and especially in today's standard, it's not like it used to be where, if you have 3 lands in play, you're good to go and cast every spell in your deck. Now it's not unreasonable to want 8 lands in play, especially when you're playing a deck like this. You want to be attacking with your man lands. You want to be, you're Jacing. You're going to have a huge glut of cards, and the issue when you're playing Modern Standard is never like, oh, I've ran out of cards. It's always, I don't have enough mana to cast all my cards.
Right, and it's and especially with Caw-Blade, it can be a little bit deceiving because all your cards are so cheap, and you can play them out really cheaply, but you want to have a lot of mana to access a multitude of threats. So Matt has the Vampire Lacerator on turn 1 again, comes in for 2, serving Alex Gonzalez down to 18 life.
Yeah, and being on the play is just so huge here. It's actually interesting. If Matt was on the play last game with his opening draw, things may have turned out differently.
Yeah, I mean, the Batterskull is still certainly rough, but he might have had a little more play that game for gaining tempo. And there's a turn 2 Vampire Lacerator, which will start serving for 4. That's a pretty nice start against Alex Gonzalez here.
It's a really good opening clock. Alex is going to go ahead and put a Hawk on the battlefield. Not the most impressive card right now. It's trumped by both 1-mana cards on the other side of the table.
There's no Pulse Tracker for it to block, nothing, no Viserys here for it to leap in the way of. I mean, he can save him 2 life, but likely he's just going to be taking 4 for a while. So
Matt's going to crack Alex here. He's going to go down to 14. Matt himself is down to 17. All right, so Alex chooses to chump block, and Alex will drop to 16 here. Matt's going to go ahead and crack his fetch land, find another swamp, and I assume he's going to play some sort of 2-drop here. A Colastria Highborn or a Bloodghast.
Yep, there's the Highborn. Highborn is a card Matt hasn't drawn a ton of this weekend. We've seen his matches several times, and he's played it a couple times, but certainly it doesn't come down as commonly, and that's one of the most powerful cards in the deck. So it's really going to temper, like, even if Alex has a Day of Judgment here, like, Matt's still in a pretty reasonable position, like, attacks him for 6, and then if he has a third swamp, he just can leave it up and drain Alex down to 4 life.
Yeah.
If a Day of Judgment were to happen. Now, I can't see Alex's hand. I don't know if he has it or not, but...
And Alex may chump also. If Alex chumps again here, though, Matt can be fairly confident that his opponent has a Day in hand.
And this isn't one of those mind game things. Well, maybe Alex like, well, maybe I definitely chump. I don't have the Day, so Matt will not play out any more creatures.
Yeah.
And Matt just opts to pass the turn, leaving up the ability to drain with Colastria Highborn. Let's see. Yeah, there's the Day.
So Matt's going to pop back up to 18. Alex is going to go to 8 here.
Yep. And Matt still has he only has 2 lands, but he's got quite a few cards sitting in his hand.
So he drew a Black Leaf Cliffs.
Oh, that'll allow him to
good.
cast the spells. And there's a Manic Vandal. And if you're Alex Gonzalez, that's another thing you mentally file away. Well, he played the Manic Vandal, no targets. Now, maybe he just wanted a Grey Ogre, but he knows Batterskull can get me right back in the game, so he probably has another way to kill it. And there's the Amira Angel, which is going to cause all kinds of problems for Matt Landstrom. Matt has to kill that Angel now.
Yeah, I mean, I believe he has a Lightning Bolt in his hand, so probably going to see him bolt down the Angel and get in for 2.
Yep, that's exactly right. And Alex chumps with that token.
Chumping again, wow.
Especially with the Squadron Hawk in his hand, too. He clearly does not want to take any more damage than he has to.
Yeah, and I like this, though. Like, Alex clearly tested last night because these are not normal plays that he's making. He's chumping very aggressively.
Well,
so.
And also, wow, that's 3 Jaces in his hand. The other thing about Alex, he seems like he's in an okay position, and he doesn't want to accidentally lose, like, double bolt or something like that. Yeah. So by chumping there, he could, for example, just play Jace here, bounce, there we go, Jace bounce, and now he can brainstorm next turn. He's going to be in a pretty commanding position.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only a matter of time until he hits Batterskull. Now, I'm sure he thinks that Matt probably has more ways to deal with Batterskull in his hand. Obviously, he has the Manic Vandal that he just bounced, but he probably has Crush or something, too. And down comes Vandal again. And, it looks like Alex's Jace, if he wants it to be, can just be Time Walk you 3 times.
Yep.
But he's going to go to Brainstorm instead. And put Squadron Hawk back on top. So it's going to draw some extra cards. Thanks to the Squadron Hawk, just put 2 cards back, shuffle away that playing card you put away, grab another Squadron Hawk, if that's the play he chooses to make.
Yeah, so Alex goes ahead and plays an Inkmoth Nexus, which he chooses to tap.
Stoneforge Mystic. Likely for Batterskull, alright.
Yep, it is for a Batterskull. I'm not surprised.
Seems like a good one to go get. So I mean, I'm sure, once again, he's probably pretty sure Matt has an answer, but just all right, answer it, go ahead, make my day.
And that's the way you have to play these types of matches.
Let's see. And Matt's trying to figure out how he's going to dig himself out of the situation. He looks across the board. It looked so good for him at one point, but now he's fighting Squadron Hawk, Stoneforge Mystic, Active Jace. Alex has access to Ink Moth Nexus, Celestial Colonnade, and there's a Batter Skull on the way.
Yeah, there's a lot that went wrong for Matt this game.
Yep.
Missing that third land drop was pretty big. Not having a 2-drop to go with the 1-drop, just having a second 1-drop, and then not having another creature to follow that up with, like, he just didn't...
No Bloodghast.
Yeah, Bloodghast is definitely important post-board when they're dying and stuff.
So there's Go for the Throat on Stoneforge Mystic. So... If you're Matt Landstrom here, do you think you attack with the Manic Vandal first, see if he double blocks, and then go for the throat?
That's a good question. That doesn't seem bad at all.
Okay, so Alex just opposite into the Royal. In response to that, go for
I like
the
that
throat.
into the Royal. That means he's going to be able to find another Batter Skull.
Oh, wow, Matt pretty aggressive. He's like, well, I'll have to kill that Jace. What he doesn't know is that there's more where that came from.
And the next turn, this is going to be really bad for Matt. Alex is going to play a Jace and play a Stoneforge
and find a second Batter Skull. Oh, absolutely brutal. Let's see. Just thinking about what he's going to do. All right, so he taps his lands a little differently and goes to play Stoneforge Mystic. It's no doubt, I can't imagine getting anything else but the second Batter Skull here. Yep, there's the Batter Skull. Jeez, I agree. You're saying yesterday some players want to rename this deck to Ka Batter, and I can't blame them for that. Like, doesn't roll off the tongue quite as nicely, but okay. So he goes for Mirror Angel. He's gonna get a token here. And he's like, all right, do you have a third to go for the throat? And I mean, Matt has to find like 3 lightning bolts, I think, if he wants to. I don't think he's gonna get any more damage through.
Yeah, he's pretty close to locked out at this point. He needs to find a lot of reach right now.
Yeah, and I don't think he has it. He obviously has plenty of removal spells because he was pretty quick to use both those Go for the Throats last turn to kill that Jace. I think he probably might still have one in reserve, but even then... Alright, let's see. Gatekeeper. That's a Dismember from Matt Landstrom, killing off a Mirror Angel. Then he serves, and Alex blocks. And now Stoneforge Mystic is going to be active.
Alright, so...
Oh, here we go. Now, I think Alex can play a Batter Skull and Stoneforge a Batter Skull in this turn. Is that correct? I think he has access to 7 lands. Alright, Matt, can you deal with 2 Batter Skulls?
How many Batter Skulls? 2 Batter Skulls.
How many soups? 2 Batter Skulls. Alright, there's a preordain from Alex, so I think maybe he's looking for another land here. I think I might have just went for the double Batter Skull.
I think I just go for the double 4/4 lifelink against my black-red Sly opponent.
But clearly he found what he wanted. Left both cards on top with preordain. Pound the land. Like, I always feel that's kind of a greedy play. Plus, like, you want to save your preordains at this point in the game to dig for gas anyway. But I guess that's not what's going on. He decided he would much rather leave a colonnade to block, and I think partially because he just really doesn't want to take any damage from that Manic Vandal. He doesn't want to lose the double Lightning Bolt accidentally. So if he... I guess there's a theoretical possible scenario of plays where Matt has double Crush in his hand, and he puts out both Batter Skulls. Matt double crushes, connects with the Manic Vandal, and then maybe finds a way to reach back into the game after both Batter Skulls are dead.
I guess, yeah. It's definitely a possibility. I guess he could just always leave open 3 mana. That's probably the safest thing you could do.
Now, Matt's sitting on 6 mana right now, and he doesn't look like he has a response. And looks like Alex drew another preordain there. He serves, and Matt takes the hit.
And that's pretty huge here.
Yeah,
especially with Alex having another Batter Skull in hand about to come down.
Yeah, it means he doesn't have a way to deal with the first Batter Skull, which means he doesn't have a way to deal with the second Batter Skull, which means
he doesn't have a way to deal with either of the Jace the Mind Sculptors in Alex's hand.
Everything is just coming up roses for Alex Gonzalez here. It is a good situation. And he's like, why not Fate Seal you at this point?
I do not want you to draw
Keep
something
it.
that kills the batter skull.
When your opponent says keep it in the situation, it's a bad sign.
It's certainly not good. Alex played this game really well. We've seen some blunders on Caw-Blade's players, and
I mean, I think
throughout this tournament, it's a difficult deck to play.
I think the best play Alex has made all game was mulliganing a 7-card hand too. I think yesterday we watched a lot of players who might have kept a hand like that, and instead he was disciplined enough. I mean, a lot of the plays. I mean, he's played well. I think blocking that Manic Vandal like that. That's a big thing. I think a lot of players wouldn't have done was just to put 1/1s in front of that Manic Vandal.
Yeah, and that was basically his plan. Was I'm just going to chump forever.
Right, and then he's bought all the time to get this active. And obviously, like Matt stumbled a little bit. He's up to 6 lands now. But I think that mulligan from Alex was really important. Otherwise, Matt could have gotten a really good draw going, where he had the 1-drops followed up by the Highborn. And there's another Highborn for Matt Landstrom, but doesn't seem like it's going to be enough here. Facing down, soon to be 2 batter skulls.
Yeah, I mean, Alex is going to be at 20 life at the end of his next turn.
And yeah, Matt is going to be at some debatable quantity of life, probably lower than 14.
Yeah. I'm guessing 6.
Yeah, unless he chooses to double block, yeah. Oh, yeah, I like, in Matt's head, I'm trying to figure out how Matt's thinking, well, all right, what are my outs this game? And maybe his out is his opponent Faith Seals him, ships to the bottom, he draws Crush, crushes a batter skull, then his opponent Jaces ships to the bottom, he draws another Crush, or maybe a Manic Vandal, somewhere in there. And in that case, maybe it changes how you block this turn.
Well, the thing is, even Crush isn't good enough because his opponent's always going to leave 3 mana open to just bounce the batter skull back to his hand and put it back in with the Stone Forge.
He doesn't know that his opponent has that royal, but we do.
See, there on Matt's end step, Alex chooses to not even put the second batter skull into play because if he does so, it's going to put him at below 3 mana open, and he just wants to make sure, like, all right, I know you have infinite Crushes in your deck. I'm just never going to let you use that card.
Alex can be very disciplined here. I mean, at this point, I'm sure he's like, well, I'm in a pretty winning position. I might still put that second batter skull down because even if he crushes the first one, you still have the second. I guess if you think he's holding double crush, yeah, and Matt backs that in. So
at that point, the only way he could really win that game was if his opponent drew extra cards or something.
So the lone Crusader against the Caw-Blade Menace in this top 8 falls in the semifinals, and it looks like we're going to have a Caw-Blade on Caw-Blade finals.